Andrea Moranville here, and the kids and I just spent the morning strawberry picking. It is strawberry season where we live, and I love when we have our local produce in season because then I get to buy a large amount of it for a very small amount of money, and I get to make sure that I have local, fresh produce all year long. So, we had quite a hoot of a trip this morning. My son lost his shoe out in the field. My daughter lost her sunglasses. The polish of actually strawberry picking kind of lost itself after the first bucket, and they got a little tired of it, but it was a fun trip and we had a great time, and all of our hands are now stained red. And I am in the kitchen now, full on with strawberry prepping, and I wanted to just do a little video here and show you exactly what it is that I do with all of the strawberries that we got. Oh, here comes one of them. And we actually got about 23 pounds of strawberries. Now that sounds like an excessive amount of strawberries, and normally it would be if I was going to put them all in the refrigerator and we were just going to eat them now in the next week or two. You wouldn't really be able to do that. It's a lot of strawberries. I don't know if you can see this, but we have buckets of strawberries. I think we ended up with 5 buckets of strawberries, and I've chopped up about 2 right now. And the reason we buy so many is right now at our local strawberries farm, Swistax Farm, which is where we get all of our strawberries from, it's $1.75 a pound, which is unbelievable because, sorry, my hair is so crazy. Because if you think about it, in the winter when you go to buy strawberries, they're expensive, $4, $5, $6 for 1 pound. So what I do now is I buy them when they're at their cheapest and their best flavor. That's really important as well. And I freeze them, I make jam, I make sauce, and we do lots of other stuff with our berries. Joey's in the berries that I have cut to freeze. Now what I did was I quartered our strawberries and I have them on some sheet pans. I will put these in the freezer until they're frozen, and once they're frozen I'll transfer them into a bag. Why don't I just throw them all into a bag right off the get-go? Because they will clump and they will freeze together. Just like any berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. If you want to freeze your fruit, put them on a baking sheet in one layer. They will freeze independently of themselves, and then when you throw them in the bag, they will be loose and they won't clump together. So it's a little trick that you can use if you're going to freeze berries. So I quartered these strawberries because you get more out of it. And if you have a frozen strawberry, you're not going to pull a frozen strawberry out and eat it frozen, and it's already cut for you. So I've gone ahead and I've done that. I also went ahead and I have my dehydrator here. And now you're saying, Andrea, I don't have a dehydrator. Well, that's okay, because what I've done here you can also do in the oven. It's a very, yeah, are they good? It's very easy to do the exact same method as a dehydrator in the oven. I think it's maybe 175 degrees for a few hours. But what I did was I took some strawberries and I made little chips out of them, so to speak. And I put them in a single layer on my dehydrator. You would do the same thing on a baking sheet in the oven. And these will be a nice snack treat. And then I also went ahead and I did 2 with a much smaller chop. I don't know if you can see them, but I chopped them up much smaller. These are going to be for granola or dried fruit and cereal. And so by doing this, you're utilizing every part of the fruit. And that's another thing. I have some berries here that were not of good quality to put either on the sheet tray that I now have to chop more because Joey's eating them all, or the dehydrator, so I put them in a sauce pot. And these will also go to start my jam or a strawberry sauce. Now, a lot of times, the kids, even today, like they picked some berries that maybe are past their peak or not quite where you want them to be. Throw them in a pot. I saved this one so you could see. Throw them in the pot and you can cook that down when you make your jam. A strawberry jam does not need to have pectin. You can use strawberries, sugar, and lemon juice, and then do a hot water boiling bath method in your canning jar the exact same way as you would, so you can make your sauce. You put your berries in. They will create their natural juices once they're in with the sugar. You don't need an excessive amount of sugar either. You need a decent quality, decent amount, but you don't need to have an excessive, super sugary jam. It's actually, you want the fruits flavor to come through. So, and then you add some lemon juice, and it also preserves color, and lemon has pectin in it naturally, so that's why you don't need to have pectin in your strawberry jam. When you're cooking it down, you'll know it's ready because it will almost form a glaze on the back of your spoon. That's how you know it's ready. So if you were to put your spoon in after you're cooking it and pull your spoon out, it'll have like a film on the back of the metal spoon, and you know that your jam is now ready to be jarred, and then you would boil and bath it to seal the jars. Another thing that is really great about strawberries like this, you can see that I have all my stems here. I cut them here so I could show you. I have all my stems here and I have very little fruit on them. So a lot of times when you take a berry and people chop off I'm going to try to do this with my left hand and see if I can do it. I don't know if I can. You chop off the top of the fruit to eat it or whatever, and you have a lot of fruit left. A lot of people do that. Sometimes I'm guilty of that as well. There's a lot of fruit on there, okay? So you want to get as close to the green as you can, put that in your jam. Don't waste it. So, you know, every bit of the fruit is being utilized here today, and I used probably 2 buckets worth to do all of this. So I'm going to do this one more time. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to dehydrate all the fruit. I might have to do it a couple more times because Joey's eating all the fruit off of my tray right now, so I'm going to have to cut more. But that's okay. I'm probably going to do this 2, maybe 3 times. It depends on how much fruit I have. And then I'm going to have delicious fresh fruit in February when I don't want to spend $5, $6 for strawberries that aren't even going to taste half as good as these frozen ones. So these frozen fruit are going to taste better than the fruit that you would buy at a grocery store in February. And you don't know where that fruit's coming from either. You know, is this fruit organic? No, it's not, but it's from a local farm. I'm supporting local farming. I know where it's coming from. I've hand-picked it. I mean, these berries are still warm from the sun, which is pretty darn cool. And there's nothing better than a fresh strawberry. So I just wanted to show you some of the tips that I do when fruit and produce is in season. I'm going to be doing this with blueberries as well at some point, but today is strawberry day. I probably won't make the jam today. I'm going to put these in the fridge, some of these berries in the fridge, and I'll probably make jam another day, and that's okay. But the other thing about fresh fruit, when you pick it, you know, you want to try to get whatever you're going to freeze, you want to preserve the flavor as best you can, as quickly as you can. So that's why I'm cutting them up today, the same day that I picked them. I want to get them cut up and put in the freezer as soon as possible. So, red hands and all, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you learned some tips from me. I hope it helped. And if you have someplace local by you where you can pick your some fresh fruit, I highly encourage it. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day. Bye. Joey says goodbye too. Say bye, Joe. Bye.